In other news today, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula, is considering the African Transformation Movement's request for a secret ballot voting procedure for tomorrow's sitting, which will see MPs debate the independent panel of experts' report on Phala Phala. The Speaker initially declined the party's request, but she says she's now considering representations on the matter after the ATM claimed that ANC MPs have been threatened with expulsion if they vote in favour of adopting the report. Our reporter Athi Mtongana joins us from Cape Town. Athi, good afternoon. What's the latest?
A very good afternoon to you, Stephen. Well, I want to remind you, even though we're coming to you live from Parliament, tomorrow all eyes will be at the Cape Town City Hall. We know that there's already arrangements as we speak to you, road closures leading into that street where parliamentarians will be considering the Section 89 Independent Panel's report on Phala Phala. I do have with me the ATM, and as you've rightly pointed out, the Speaker of the National Assembly is now considering representations insofar as their request for a secret ballot voting procedure. Thank you so much for your time. Talk to us about this time around and the fact that you raised an issue around how ANC MPs you're claiming that they've been threatened that they will be expelled if they do vote in favor. Let's begin there. Where do you get those claims from?
Look, firstly, we as the ATM, it is our duty to make sure that when the voting happens tomorrow, all 400 members of parliament are protected from whatever threats they may receive from their parties. It is the chairperson of the ANC who spoke over the weekend, who said if a person decides to vote outside of the party mandate, he referred to what happened to Makosi Khoza. He said if you defy, a person will be charged before the conference they are having this particular weekend. So it is irrational for the Speaker, in our view, under those circumstances to say the open ballot method is the way to go, because when she rejected our application for a secret ballot, she said there is no way, in fact the open ballot does not block any member from voting with their conscience. However, that is the response she gave us on the 4th of December. On the 5th of December, there was an instruction from the leadership of the ANC saying this is how we are going to proceed as a party. Then this weekend, we had the ANC chairperson actually threatening members of parliament from voting with their conscience, which in our view is a split in the resolution or judgment that was taken by the Constitutional Court, which said if members of parliament have got a conflicting have got a conflicting view between their loyalty to the party and the country, they must always vote with the interest of the country, not of the party. So by the chairperson of the ANC actually threatening members of the ANC, we would not want a case whereby members of parliament are threatened.
So do you believe that there are ANC MPs who vote in favor of that report, and you feel that they need to be protected through a secret ballot perhaps? Do you think that's the reason why you've asked for a secret ballot?
We believe that there's 400 members of parliament who in their oath of office sought to be faithful to the republic, and there's no way a member of parliament would vote against a motion that is saying let us further investigate the conduct of the president. Now, if there are parties that are threatening their members, for us as the ATM, we've got the interest of the country. That is why we want to protect all 400 members of parliament from such victimization and threats that would come from their parties.
And now, before I let you go, let's talk about the papers that you filed. You are, of course, cited in those papers, the review application by President Cyril Ramaphosa on this very same report. Talk to us about, in essence, what you're saying there.
Firstly, it is, we don't understand why the President would cite a non-existent panel. There's no longer a panel now. Secondly, not cite the 14 parties that are represented in Parliament, and also try to intimidate a member of Parliament by citing a member of Parliament in his personal capacity. We view that as somewhat, he's trying to intimidate and threaten us as members of Parliament from doing what we are constitutionally required to do. The second thing is that he does not submit his application on an urgent basis, meaning he does not want this to be heard before the sitting. He's just trying to buy time. And it does not make sense for a person who claims to be innocent, who goes to court to stop a process where he could go in that impeachment committee and just provide all of the evidence and prove his innocence. So that is why we as the ATM, we think that that application on its own is proof enough that, number one, he's got something to hide. Number two, he's trying by all means to, to make Parliament to be redundant, make Parliament not to do what is constitutionally required to do.
Thank you so much for your time. The ATM in Parliament giving us their stance insofar as the latest response from the Speaker of the National Assembly, saying that this time around she's not outright declining their request for a secret ballot, but she is considering representations in the matter, given some of the issues that the ATM has pointed out in relation to ANC MPs having to toe the line and having to face consequences if they don't toe the line, according to the NEC resolution on the report. We'll continue to give you rolling coverage tomorrow, Stephen, of course, with MPs as they kickstart the sitting that will consider the Section 89 independent panel report on Phala Phala. Back to you in studio.
Athi Mtongana, live from Parliament. Thank you very much indeed. Of course, live coverage of that tomorrow afternoon.